The salt air stings my lungs as I stand on the weathered porch of my tiny cottage, watching the sun bleed into the horizon. My hand rests on the swell of my belly, 5 months now, maybe 6. I've stopped keeping precise track. Time moves differently here in Yosu, this forgotten seaside town where no one knows my name, where no one knows I'm an Omega who ran away from everything. I tell myself I'm free. I tell myself every morning when I wake up alone, when the bed feels too cold, when my body aches for a presence that shouldn't matter anymore. Freedom tastes like bitter tea and loneliness, but it's better than the cage I left behind. Or so I keep telling myself. The baby kicks, a flutter against my palm, and my chest tightens with a complicated knot of love and fear. This child, our child, wasn't planned. Wasn't expected. The last night Yusiak and I spent together before everything shattered into irreparable pieces had been desperate and raw. We'd fought for hours about his controlling nature, about how he monitored every aspect of my life, about how I couldn't breathe without him dictating when and how. I just want to keep you safe, Hanul, he'd said, his dark eyes stormy with frustration. The world is dangerous for Omegas, especially unmated ones. I'm not unmated. I'm bonded to you. I'd screamed back, my voice breaking. But you treat me like property, not a partner. That's not, I love you. Everything I do is because I love you. Your love is suffocating me, Yusiak. I'm drowning. We'd made love that night anyway, angry and passionate, our bodies seeking connection even as our hearts pulled apart. His teeth had grazed my bonding mark, sending shivers through my entire being. His hands had been everywhere, possessive, claiming, desperate. I'd shattered beneath him, crying his name even as tears streamed down my face. 3 weeks later I'd left. The pregnancy test had been positive, and the realization had hit me like a truck. If I stayed, I'd never be my own person. Yusiak would build an even higher cage around me and our child, all in the name of protection and love. So I'd written a note, cowardly I know, telling him I couldn't be caged anymore, that I needed space, that maybe we weren't meant to be. I'd blocked his number, disabled location services, and disappeared into the night with nothing but a backpack and my savings. The guilt still eats at me. Especially now, carrying his child, knowing he doesn't even know he's going to be a father. But my freedom was more important. Had to be. Except my freedom is being threatened again, this time by my own family. My phone buzzes in my pocket. Another call from my older brother, Miho. I don't answer. I haven't answered in 2 weeks, not since he somehow tracked me down and showed up at my door with that cold, calculating look in his eyes. Mother and father are willing to forgive your disgrace, he'd said, eyeing my pregnant belly with distaste. But only if you agree to their terms. The Kim family is still interested in an alliance. They're willing to overlook your condition if you terminate the pregnancy and agree to bond with their second son. I'd slammed the door in his face. But Miho isn't the type to give up easily. He'd called every day since, his voicemails growing increasingly threatening. You're bringing shame to the Lee family name. That child is illegitimate. Do the right thing, Hanul. Don't be selfish. Selfish. The word loops in my mind as I watch fishing boats bob in the darkening water. Is it selfish to want to keep my baby? To want a life where I make my own choices? My hand spreads across my belly protectively. I won't let them take you, I whisper. I promise. The baby kicks again as if in response, and despite everything, the fear, the loneliness, the bone-deep ache of missing Yusiak, I smile. Inside the cottage, I make myself dinner. Rice, kimchi, and grilled mackerel bought fresh from the market. The elderly woman who sold it to me had patted my hand kindly, asking when the baby was due, if my husband was taking good care of me. I'd lied and said he was working abroad. She'd clucked sympathetically. Lies upon lies. My life has become a web of them. After eating, I settle into my worn armchair with a book, trying to focus on the words. But my mind wanders, as it always does, back to Yusiak. I wonder what he's doing. If he's moved on. If he hates me for leaving. The bond between us still pulses faintly in my chest. A golden thread I've tried so hard to ignore. Alphas and Omegas bonded through a claiming bite form connections that transcend physical distance. I can feel him sometimes, especially late at night. His anger, his pain, his desperate searching. It makes me sick with guilt and longing in equal measure. I should have been stronger. Should have stayed and fought for us to find a healthier dynamic. But I'd been so young when we bonded, only 22, and Yusiak's intensity had overwhelmed me. His need to control every aspect of my life had grown worse over our 3 years together, until I couldn't distinguish between love and possession. A sharp cramp seizes my abdomen and I gasp, dropping the book. My hand flies to my belly as another cramp follows, harder this time. No, 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 I whisper, fear icing through my veins. Please, not yet. It's too early. The cramping subsides after a few minutes, leaving me shaky and terrified. I've been having these episodes more frequently. My body weakened from stress, from inadequate nutrition, from the toll of carrying a child alone without proper omega care during pregnancy. I need to see a doctor, but I'm afraid. Afraid of leaving a paper trail. Afraid my family will find me. Afraid that somehow, impossibly, Yusiak will track me down. Afraid of what I'll do if he does. Because despite everything, despite the pain and the fear and the anger, a traitorous part of my heart still yearns for him. Still remembers the way he'd hold me after nightmares, the way he'd sent me until I felt safe, the way his deep voice would rumble against my back as he whispered promises of forever. I'd believed those promises once. I drag myself to bed, curling around a pillow that smells nothing like him, and cry myself to sleep, a nightly ritual I've perfected. The next morning dawns gray and heavy with the promise of rain. I force myself through my routine. Shower, dress, breakfast. Every movement feels like wading through water. The baby is heavy, pressing on my bladder, making my back ache constantly. I'm hanging laundry on the line outside when I feel it, a disturbance in the bond, sharp and sudden like a thread being violently pulled. He's close. My hands freeze on the wet shirt I'm holding, and my heart begins to pound. No, it's impossible. I've been so careful. But the bond doesn't lie. Somewhere in this town, maybe even on this street, Kang Yusiak has found me. Panic floods my system. I abandon the laundry and stumble inside, my mind racing. I need to pack. Need to run. A knock on the door stops my heart. I stand frozen in the middle of my small living room, staring at the door like it might explode. Another knock, firmer this time. Hanol. His voice, God, his voice, rough and broken and so achingly familiar. I know you're in there. I can feel you. Please. Please just let me see you. My legs won't move. I'm rooted to the spot, torn between the desperate urge to throw open the door and the equally desperate urge to run out the back. I've been looking for you for a year, Yusiak continues, and I can hear the strain in his voice, the barely leashed emotion. 347 days. I've driven to every small town in Korea. I've asked thousands of people. I've barely slept. I've barely eaten. Please, Hanol. Please don't make me beg on your doorstep. A sob catches in my throat. 347 days. He counted. Go away, I managed to choke out, but my voice is weak, unconvincing even to my own ears. Silence. Then, I can smell you're pregnant. I close my eyes, tears spilling down my cheeks. Of course he can. Alphas have a supernatural sense of smell, especially for their bonded omega. He probably caught my scent the moment he entered the town. Is it mine? His voice cracks on the question. Please, Hanol. Is the baby mine? I should lie. Should tell him it belongs to someone else. Should twist the knife and make him leave. But I can't. Even now, even after everything, I can't hurt him like that. Yes, I whisper, knowing his alpha hearing will catch it. The door shudders as something heavy hits it. His forehead, maybe, or his fist. I hear a sound that might be a sob or a growl or both. Let me in, he says, his voice raw. Let me see you. Let me see our baby. Please, Hanol. Please. My hand moves to the doorknob before my brain can stop it. I'm powerless against the bond, against the pull of him, against my own desperate, treacherous heart. I open the door. Kang Yusiak looks like hell. That's my first thought when I see him standing on my porch, and it cracks something open in my chest. He's lost weight, his strong frame leaner, almost gaunt. Dark circles shadow his eyes, which are bloodshot and wild. His black hair is longer, unkempt, curling around his ears. Stubble covers his usually clean-shaven jaw. He looks half feral, and it's entirely my fault. Hanol. He breathes my name like a prayer, and then his eyes drop to my belly. I watch his face transform. The wildness sharpens into something fierce and possessive and overwhelming. His pupils dilate, swallowing the brown of his irises. His hands clench into fists at his sides, and I can see him physically restraining himself from reaching for me. You're pregnant, he says, his voice dropping into that alpha register that makes my omega instincts surge. You're pregnant with my child, and you've been here alone. For how long? How far along are you? 5 or 6 months, I admit, wrapping my arms around my belly protectively. I'm not entirely sure. You're not? He makes a choked sound. You haven't been seeing a doctor? I can't. My family is looking for me. If I go to a hospital, they'll find me. Your family? His eyes narrow dangerously. What do they want? I shouldn't tell him. Telling him will only make things more complicated. But I'm so tired, and he's here, and suddenly I can't carry this burden alone anymore. They want me to terminate the pregnancy and bond with someone else. For a political alliance. The words come out flat, exhausted. My brother found me 2 weeks ago. He's been calling constantly, making threats. The sound Yusiak makes is inhuman, a snarl that raises every hair on my body and sends my Omega instincts into overdrive. His scent, which had been controlled until now, explodes outward, pine and smoke in alpha rage. Over my dead fucking body, he growls. No one is taking our baby. No one is touching you. I should be angry at his possessiveness. Should tell him he has no right to make declarations about my life. But instead, I feel something I haven't felt in months. Safe. God, I'm so weak. You need to leave, I say, but there's no conviction in my voice. No. He takes a step forward, still on the porch but closer now. I'm not leaving you again. I can't. Do you understand? I physically cannot walk away from you carrying my child. Yusiak. Do you have any idea what it's been like? His voice breaks. Waking up and you were gone? Reading that note? Feeling our bond stretch and stretch until I thought it would snap? I tried to give you space like you asked. I lasted 3 days before I started looking. I've been to every province. I've shown your picture to thousands of people. I've slept in my car more nights than I can count. I've missed work, neglected everything because finding you was the only thing that mattered. Tears streamed down my face. I needed to be free. Free? He laughs bitterly. Were you free, Hanul? Alone and pregnant and scared? Hiding from your family? That's not freedom. That's isolation. It's better than being controlled. I wasn't trying to control you. He runs his hands through his hair in frustration. I was trying to protect you. The world is cruel to Omegas, you know this. I've seen what happens when they're not protected, when they're vulnerable. I couldn't let that happen to you. But you didn't ask me what I wanted, I say, my voice rising. You decided what was best for me. You tracked my phone, chose my friends, dictated my schedule. You loved me so much it felt like suffocation. He flinches like I've struck him. I know, he says quietly. I've had a year to think about everything I did wrong. You were right, I was controlling. My fear of losing you made me hold on too tight, until you had no choice but to run. I stare at him shocked. Yusiak never admitted fault. Never apologized. His alpha pride wouldn't allow it. I've been in therapy, he continues, seeing my expression. Since a month after you left. My alpha instincts, they're powerful, especially regarding you. The bond makes them almost overwhelming. But that's not an excuse. I should have been stronger. Should have trusted you more. Should have listened when you said you were unhappy. You're in therapy? I repeat, still processing. Twice a week. He gives me a rueful smile. My therapist says I have abandonment issues stemming from my childhood. That I use control as a coping mechanism. That I need to learn to trust and communicate instead of dominate. He takes a shaky breath. I'm trying, Hanul. I'm trying to be the alpha you deserve. The father our child deserves. A cramp suddenly seizes my belly, sharp and painful. I gasp, doubling over. Yusiak moves faster than I've ever seen him move. One moment he's on the porch, the next he's inside, catching me as my knees buckle. His arms wrap around me, supporting my weight, and his scent, so familiar, so right, envelopes me. What's wrong? His voice is sharp with panic. Is it the baby? Cramps? I manage. I've been having them. My body is weak. The pregnancy is hard. We're going to the hospital. Right now. No. They'll find. I don't care if the entire world finds us, he says fiercely, lifting me into his arms like I weigh nothing. Our baby's health comes first. Your health comes first. We'll deal with your family together. I should protest. Should maintain my independence. But another cramp hits, worse than before, and I can't help the whimper that escapes. I've got you, Yusiak murmurs, carrying me toward the door. I've got both of you. I'm not letting anything happen to my family. Never again. And despite everything, despite the pain and the fear and all the unresolved hurt between us, I let my head rest against his chest and believe him. The hospital in Yosu is small but equipped with a maternity ward. Yusiak carries me through the emergency entrance, his alpha voice commanding immediate attention from the staff. My Omega is pregnant and experiencing severe cramping. He needs to be seen immediately. The nurses take one look at his feral expression and my pale face and spring into action. Within minutes, I'm in a private room hooked up to monitors with a doctor examining me. Yusiak refuses to leave my side. He holds my hand in a grip that's gentle but unbreakable, his scent wrapping around me like a blanket. I can feel his anxiety through the bond, sharp and acidic. Your baby appears to be fine, the doctor says after a thorough examination, and Yusiak's entire body sags with relief. But you, Mr. Lee, are severely malnourished and dehydrated. Your blood pressure is dangerously low. Have you been under significant stress? I nod mutely. Omega pregnancies require specialized care, the doctor continues, his tone gentle but firm. You need proper nutrition, rest, and ideally the presence of your alpha to help regulate your hormones. Without that support, your body struggles to sustain the pregnancy. He'll have it, Yusiak says immediately. Whatever he needs. Whatever the baby needs. Money is no object. The doctor looks between us, clearly sensing the tension. I'm going to keep you overnight for observation and for fluids. You need to eat regular, nutritious meals. And you need to reduce your stress levels significantly, or you risk premature labor. After the doctor leaves, Yusiak pulls a chair close to my bed and sits, still holding my hand. I'm not going anywhere, he says quietly. I know you're angry with me. I know you have every right to be. But our baby needs me, and whether you want to admit it or not, you need me too. I don't. Your body is literally failing because you don't have alpha support during pregnancy, he interrupts, his voice strained. That's not an opinion, Hanul. That's biology. Omegas carrying bonded alpha children need their mate's presence. They're set. Their hormones. Without it, the pregnancy becomes dangerous. I hate that he's right. Hate that my biology betrays my desire for independence. I can't go back to how things were, I say, my voice small. I can't live in a cage again, Yusiak. Even for our baby. I'm not asking you to. He brings my hand to his lips, pressing a kiss to my knuckles. I'm asking you to let me prove I can be different. Let me take care of you and our baby. Let me show you that love doesn't have to be suffocating. Please, Hanul. Give me another chance. You hurt me, I whisper, tears falling. You made me feel like I didn't matter. Like my feelings and wants were less important than your need to control. I know. His own eyes are wet. I know, and I'm so fucking sorry. I'll spend the rest of my life making it up to you if you'll let me. I'll do whatever it takes. Therapy together. Setting boundaries. Communication. Whatever you need to feel safe with me again. I want to believe him. God, I want to so badly. But trust, once broken, is hard to repair. I need time, I say finally. I need you to prove it, not just say it. Then I'll prove it. He squeezes my hand. Every single day I'll prove it. Starting now. What do you need? What would make you feel better? Food, I admit. I'm so hungry. He's on his feet immediately. What do you want? Anything. Everything. Kimchi jjigae. The kind with pork. And rice. And maybe some Pajeon. Done. I'll be back in 20 minutes. Don't. He stops himself and I see the visible effort it takes. I'll be back soon. Rest. I watch him go, noting how he catches himself before giving me orders. It's a small thing, but it matters. Maybe he really is trying to change. Yusiak returns with enough food to feed 5 people and watches intently as I eat. His alpha instincts are clearly satisfied by seeing me nourished, and his scent, which had been sharp with anxiety, gradually sweetens into something warm and content. Better? He asks when I finally push the containers away, my belly full for the first time in weeks. Much better. I hesitate, then add, thank you. You never have to thank me for taking care of you, he says softly. That's my privilege. My purpose. We sit in silence for a while, the monitors beeping steadily, showing our baby's strong heartbeat. Yusiak can't seem to stop staring at my belly, his expression one of wonder and fierce protectiveness. Can I? He gestures hesitantly toward my stomach. Can I touch? Feel the baby? I should say no. Should maintain distance. But the longing on his face breaks my heart. Okay, I whisper. He moves to sit on the edge of the bed, his large hand hovering over my belly for a moment before gently making contact. The warmth of his palm seeps through the thin hospital gown, and I watch his face transform as the baby kicks against his hand. Oh my God, he breathes. That's our baby. That's our child. Strong little thing, I say, smiling despite myself. Takes after you. I hope they take after you, he murmurs, his hand stroking my belly reverently. Your kindness, your strength, your beautiful heart. I'm not that strong. I ran away. You survived, he corrects, looking up at me. You survived alone while pregnant in a world that's cruel to omegas. You protected our baby even when you were terrified. That's the definition of strength, Hanul. The baby kicks again, harder this time, and Yusiak laughs, a sound of pure joy I haven't heard from him in so long. I've missed so much already, he says, and there's grief in his voice. The first kicks. Watching your belly grow. Being there for the morning sickness and the cravings and all of it. That's what happens when you're controlling and suffocating, I say, but there's less bite in my words than before. I know. He looks at me seriously. And I will regret it for the rest of my life. But I'm here now and I'm not missing anything else. Not if you'll let me stay. Before I can respond, my phone rings. I tense immediately when I see my brother's name. Don't answer it, Yusiak says, his voice dropping into a growl. He'll just keep calling. Then let him. He takes the phone from my hand and declines the call, then proceeds to block the number entirely. You don't need his poison. Not now, not ever. He's my brother. He wants you to kill our baby, Yusiak snarls, his eyes flashing alpha bright. He's not your brother. He's a threat to our family, and I won't allow him anywhere near you. There's that possessiveness again, that commanding tone. But this time it doesn't feel like control. It feels like protection. They won't give up easily, I warn him. The Lee family doesn't accept defiance. Neither does the Kang family, he says with a dangerous smile. And I'm significantly more ruthless when it comes to protecting what's mine. Let them try. I'll destroy anyone who attempts to harm you or our child. A shiver runs through me at the promise in his voice. Yusiak comes from money and power. The Kang family owns one of the largest pharmaceutical companies in Korea. He has resources I can't even imagine. You can't just throw money at this problem, I say weakly. Watch me. He leans closer, his scent intensifying. I will buy this entire town if that's what it takes to keep you safe. I will hire the best security team in the country. I will personally ensure your family never bothers you again. I told you, Hanul, over my dead body will anyone take our baby or force you into anything. That's still being controlling, I point out. He pauses, then nods slowly. You're right. I'm sorry. What do you want to do about your family? The fact that he asks, that he catches himself and corrects, means everything. I want restraining orders, I say. Legal protection. Documentation of their threats. I want to make sure that if anything happens to me, the baby goes to you, not them. Done. I'll have my lawyers draw up everything tomorrow. He takes my hand again. And nothing is going to happen to you. I won't allow it. You can't control everything, Yusiak. I can try. He smiles ruefully. But I'll try to do it in a way that doesn't make you feel caged. That's the balance I need to find, right? Protecting you without suffocating you? Right? I say softly. It's not going to be easy. Nothing worth having ever is. He brings my hand to his chest, pressing it over his heart. Feel that? It beats for you. Only you. It has since the moment I met you, and it will until I die. I fucked up, Hanul. I let my fear turn into control. But I'm working on it. I'm getting better. And I will spend every day proving to you that I can be the partner you deserve. I want to believe him. The sincerity in his eyes, the steady beat of his heart under my palm, the way he's already showing signs of change, it all makes me want to try again. But I'm terrified. Terrified of being hurt again. Terrified of losing myself. Terrified of what it means to let him back in. I don't know if I can trust you again, I admit. Then don't, he says simply. Not yet. Trust is earned and I'll earn it back. Day by day, moment by moment. Just, don't shut me out completely. Let me be here for this pregnancy. Let me prove I can respect your boundaries while still taking care of you. Please. The baby kicks again as if adding their opinion to the conversation. Okay, I hear myself say. But we have rules. Boundaries. And if you cross them. I won't, he promises. Tell me what they are and I'll follow them. We spend the next hour talking, really talking, in a way we never did before. I lay out what I need. Space when I ask for it, autonomy in my decisions, no tracking or monitoring, trust in my judgment. He listens without interrupting, without getting defensive, and agrees to everything. I'm going to mess up, he admits. My instincts are strong and learning to rein them in is a process. But I want you to call me out when I do. I want communication even when it's uncomfortable. I can do that, I say. And I want you to know something else. He looks at me intently. I love you. I've loved you since the first moment I saw you at that stupid corporate gala, looking like you wanted to be anywhere else. I loved you when you agreed to date me. I loved you when we bonded. I loved you every day we were together, and I loved you every day you were gone. I will love you for the rest of my life, whether you can love me back or not. My throat tightens with emotion. I never stopped loving you, I confess. I hated you sometimes, but I never stopped loving you. That's what made it so hard. Then we'll figure it out together, he says. We'll build something better. Something healthy. Something that gives both of us what we need. He stays with me through the night, sleeping in the uncomfortable hospital chair, holding my hand. Every time I wake, he's there, his eyes opening immediately, checking on me. And for the first time in a year, I don't feel alone. The doctor releases me the next morning with strict instructions. Bed rest for a week, proper nutrition, reduced stress, and regular prenatal care. Yusiak takes notes on his phone like a diligent student, asking questions about everything from vitamin supplements to warning signs of complications. Where do you want to go? He asks as he helps me into his car. A sleek black Mercedes that looks absurdly out of place in this small fishing town. I have a hotel room, but if you want to stay at your cottage. My cottage, I say immediately. The thought of being in an unfamiliar space, even a hotel, makes my omega instincts anxious. Okay. He doesn't argue, just drives carefully through the narrow streets toward my neighborhood. But I'm staying with you. On the couch? He adds quickly when I open my mouth to protest. Or the floor. Wherever you're comfortable. But I'm not leaving you alone. I want to argue, but honestly I'm too tired. And the doctor's words echo in my mind. You need alpha support or you risk premature labor. Fine, I concede. But you follow my rules in my house. Absolutely. When we arrive, I notice a large SUV parked down the street, black with tinted windows. My anxiety spikes. That's security, Yusiak says, noticing my reaction. I hired a team last night. They'll maintain a perimeter around the cottage but won't interfere with your privacy. They're just here in case your family tries anything. I should be angry about him making that decision without consulting me. But honestly, it makes me feel safer. Okay, I say. Thank you for asking instead of just doing it. He gives me a wry smile. I'm learning. Inside, my cottage feels different with him in it. He's so large, so intensely present, that he seems to fill every space. His scent begins to permeate the rooms, mixing with my own, and my omega instincts purr with satisfaction. You should rest, Yusiak says, guiding me toward the bedroom. I'll make lunch. You cook now. I ask, surprised. I learned, he admits. When you left, I realized I'd always relied on staff or takeout. I wanted to be more self-sufficient. Plus, I thought, if you ever came back, maybe I could cook for you. Something warm blooms in my chest at the thought of him learning to cook for me. I settle into bed, exhausted from the hospital stay and the emotional upheaval. Yusiak tucks the blankets around me with careful hands, his touch gentle. Sleep, he murmurs. I'll wake you when food is ready. I drift off to his movements in the kitchen, the homey sounds of cooking lulling me into the deepest sleep I've had in months. I wake to the smell of doenjang jjigae and the feeling of a warm hand on my belly. My eyes flutter open to find Yusiak sitting on the edge of the bed, his palms spread across my stomach, his expression soft. The baby's been active, he says quietly. I felt at least 20 kicks in the last hour. They like you, I murmur, still half asleep. I like them too, he says, his voice thick with emotion. So much, and I haven't even met them yet. I watch him commune with our unborn child and my heart aches. This is the Yusiak I fell in love with, tender, devoted, present. Not the controlling alpha who monitored my every move, but the man who looks at our baby with wonder. Can I ask you something? I say. Anything. Why did you become so controlling? You weren't always like that. In the beginning you were different. He's quiet for a long moment, his hand still on my belly. My mother died when I was 12, he finally says. Car accident. She was going to pick me up from school and someone ran a red light. I was waiting at the school entrance when the police came. He swallows hard. 4 months afterward, I had panic attacks every time someone I loved was out of my sight. I was terrified something would happen to them. Yusiak, I breathe, my hand covering his. My father sent me to therapy and I got better. Learned to manage it. But when I met you, when we bonded. He looks at me and his eyes are haunted. Those fears came back. Every time you were out of my sight, I imagined worst-case scenarios. Car accidents. Kidnappings. Other alphas taking advantage of you. It consumed me. So I tried to control everything to keep you safe, to prevent any possibility of losing you. But you lost me anyway, I say softly. I did. He laughs bitterly. The thing I was most afraid of happened because of my fear. Ironic, isn't it? Why didn't you tell me this before? Because alphas aren't supposed to show weakness, he says. We're supposed to be strong, protective, in control. Admitting I had anxiety and trauma felt like admitting I was a failure as an alpha. That's bullshit, I say bluntly. You're allowed to have feelings and trauma. You're allowed to struggle. But you have to communicate about it instead of making it my problem to manage. I know that now. He brings my hand to his lips. My therapist has been very clear about it. I'm working on it, Hanol. The anxiety doesn't go away, but I'm learning healthier coping mechanisms. Breathing exercises. Cognitive reframing. Actually talking about my fears instead of acting on them. That must be hard for you. It's the hardest thing I've ever done, he admits. But it's worth it if it means I can be the partner you need. The baby kicks against his hand and he smiles through his tears. They're going to be perfect, he whispers. Just like you. Over the next few days we fall into a careful rhythm. Yusiak sleeps on the couch, though I catch him throughout the night checking on me, Not hovering, just quietly making sure I'm okay. He cooks every meal, learning what my pregnant body craves. He doesn't ask to touch my belly, but his eyes constantly drift there, and I find myself inviting him to feel the baby kick more and more often. He's trying so hard to respect my boundaries that sometimes I see the physical strain it causes him. His alpha instincts want to scent me, to touch me constantly, to keep me within arm's reach at all times. But he restrains himself, only reaching for me when I indicate it's okay. It's both heartbreaking and healing to watch. On the 4th day, his lawyer arrives, a sharp-eyed woman named Kim Jae-woo who takes no nonsense from anyone. She spreads documents across my small kitchen table while Yuseok makes tea. I've drafted restraining orders against your entire immediate family, she says efficiently. I've also prepared custody documents ensuring that if anything happens to you, guardianship goes to Mr. Kong. Additionally, I have cease and desist letters ready to send regarding their harassment and threats. Can they fight this? I ask nervously. They can try, she says with a cold smile. But I've documented every voicemail your brother left. Some of them contain explicit threats toward your unborn child. A judge will not look favorably on that. What about the marriage arrangement they want to force? You're a legally bonded Omega, she states. Bonds can only be broken by death or through an extremely difficult and expensive legal process. Any attempt to force you into another arrangement while bonded would be illegal. Not that legality stops some families, which is why the restraining orders are necessary. I sign everything with shaking hands, Yuseok's steadying presence at my back. Your family has significant social influence, Jae-woo warns as she packs up her briefcase. They may try to retaliate through business channels or social pressure. Are you prepared for that? The Kong family has more influence, Yuseok says coldly. If the Lees want to play that game, they'll lose. After she leaves, I feel simultaneously relieved and terrified. My parents are going to be furious. Let them be, Yuseok says, pulling me into his arms, the first real embrace since he found me. I stiffen initially, then gradually relax into his warmth. You're not their property, Hanul. You're a person with rights and choices. And our baby deserves better than to be a pawn in their political games. I've brought so much trouble into your life, I murmur against his chest. You brought meaning into my life, he corrects. Everything else is just noise. That night I have a nightmare. In it, my brother breaks into the cottage and tries to drag me away while Yuseok is gone. I wake up gasping, my heart racing, my hands instinctively protecting my belly. Within seconds, Yuseok is there. He must have been sleeping lightly, alert for any sign of distress. Hey, it's okay, he soothes, sitting on the edge of the bed. You're safe. I'm here. No one's getting past me. I dreamed. I can't finish the sentence, tears choking me. I know, baby. I know. The endearment slips out naturally and he doesn't apologize for it. But it was just a dream. Security is outside. I'm right here. You're protected. Can you? I hesitate, then push forward. Can you stay? Just for tonight? I don't want to be alone. Something raw and grateful flashes across his face. Are you sure? I nod, scooting over to make room. He climbs into bed carefully, maintaining distance at first. But my Omega instincts are screaming for comfort, for the safety of my Alpha's presence. Hold me, I whisper. Please. He doesn't need to be asked twice. His arms wrap around me from behind, one large hand splaying protectively over my belly. His scent envelopes me, pine and smoke and home, and my body finally relaxes. I've got you, he murmurs into my hair. Both of you. Sleep, Hanul. I'll keep watch. With his heartbeat steady against my back and his warmth surrounding me, I fall into the first nightmare-free sleep I've had since I left him. I wake to sunlight streaming through the windows and Yuseok still wrapped around me. The baby is moving, gentle flutters against where his hand rests. He's awake, I can tell by his breathing, but he's staying still, letting me wake naturally. How long have you been awake? I ask, my voice rough with sleep. An hour maybe, he admits. I didn't want to move and wake you. You needed the rest. I roll over in his arms to face him. This close, I can see the exhaustion still etched into his features, the worry lines that weren't there a year ago. On impulse, I reach up and trace one with my finger. You look tired, I say softly. I am tired, he admits. But having you in my arms again, it's the most rested I've felt in a year. We lie there, facing each other, our baby moving between us. His eyes are soft, vulnerable in a way Yuseok rarely allows himself to be. I miss this, I confess. Waking up with you. I told myself I didn't, but I did. Every single morning. I missed everything about you, he says. Your voice. Your laugh. The way you hum when you're cooking. The way you curl into me at night. The way you look at me when you think I'm not paying attention. How do I look at you? Like I'm everything, he whispers. Like I matter. You do matter, I say. You've always mattered. That was never the problem. The problem was that I made you feel like you didn't matter, he says, understanding. Like your needs came second to my fear. Yes. I'm sorry, Hanul. I'm so fucking sorry. His voice breaks. I'm sorry I made you feel caged. I'm sorry I didn't listen when you told me you were unhappy. I'm sorry you felt like running was your only option. I'm sorry I missed the first 5 months of your pregnancy. I'm sorry for all of it. Tears stream down my face. I'm sorry too. For leaving without really talking to you. For keeping the baby a secret. For not giving you a chance to change before I disappeared. You did give me chances, he says firmly. You told me you were unhappy. You asked me to back off. I didn't listen. This isn't your fault, Hanul. The failure was mine. We lie there crying together, finally letting out all the pain and regret we've been carrying. His hand never leaves my belly, our baby moving between us like a reminder of why we need to find a way forward. When the tears finally subside, I feel lighter. Cleaner somehow. I want to try again, I say. I want to try to rebuild what we had, but better. Healthier. Hope blazes in his eyes. You mean it? I mean it. But slowly, Yusiak. We can't just pick up where we left off. We need to rebuild trust. Relearn each other. I'll go as slow as you need, he promises. I'll follow your lead. And if I need space, I'll give it to you. Even if it kills me, I'll give it to you. The baby kicks hard and we both laugh through our tears. They're excited, Yusiak says, his hand rubbing gentle circles on my belly. They probably are, I agree. They can feel both of us now. Omegas and alphas can sense each other through the baby. Really? He looks fascinated. What can they sense? Emotions mostly. Security. Well, they know their alpha is here now. Good, he says fiercely. I want them to know I'm here. That I'm never leaving again. We stay in bed for another hour just talking. He tells me about his year of searching, the false leads, the desperation. I tell him about the pregnancy, the morning sickness, the first time I felt the baby move. We share the year we lost trying to bridge the gap. Eventually, hunger drives us from the bed. Yusiak makes breakfast while I shower, and when I emerge in fresh clothes, I find the table set with a feast. Rice, soup, grilled fish, banchan, and fresh fruit. You really did learn to cook, I say impressed. YouTube is an excellent teacher, he says with a grin. Plus, I may have bribed my housekeeper for lessons. The food is delicious and I eat more than I have in weeks. Yusiak watches with satisfaction, his alpha instincts clearly pleased by my appetite. We should go to the market, I suggest. I need fresh vegetables and you need to see the town. Whatever you want, he agrees immediately. But I'm coming with you. I assume that, I say dryly. At the market, the elderly vendors greet me warmly, then I Yusiak with curiosity and approval. He's wearing casual clothes, jeans and a sweater, but he still radiates alpha authority and wealth. Several vendors clearly recognize quality when they see it. So this is your husband? The woman who sells fish asks with a knowing smile. The one working abroad? Yes, I say, the lie coming easier now. He finished his contract. Good, she says firmly. Pregnant omegas need their alphas. You're glowing now that he's back. Yusiak's hand finds the small of my back and I don't pull away. We shop together and he insists on carrying everything. He's attentive but not overbearing, asking my opinion on selections, letting me make decisions. Several times I catch him stopping himself from taking over or making choices for me. The effort is visible and I appreciate it deeply. You're doing well, I murmur as we walk back toward the cottage. With what? Not being controlling. Letting me lead. He gives me a rueful smile. It's harder than you'd think. Every instinct is screaming at me to take charge, to protect you from every possible thing, to make all decisions to keep you safe. But I know that's not what you need. Thank you for fighting your instincts. Thank you for giving me another chance to try. That afternoon we establish new routines. Yusiak sets up his laptop in the corner of the living room to work remotely, giving me space while remaining nearby. I read and rest, the baby active against my belly. We move around each other carefully, learning this new dance. When evening comes, I realize I don't want him to sleep on the couch anymore. You can sleep in the bed, I say, if you want. It's more comfortable than the couch. Are you sure? He asks carefully. I'm sure. I slept better with you last night. Me too, he admits. That night, we lie together in the darkness, his arms around me, our baby moving between us. It feels right in a way nothing has felt right in a year. Hanul, he says quietly. Yeah. I love you. I'll keep saying it even if you're not ready to say it back. I just need you to know. I love you too, I whisper. I never stopped. I just needed you to change the way you showed it. His arms tighten around me and I feel dampness on my neck, his tears. I won't let you down again, he promises. I swear it. Don't promise perfection, I say. Just promise to keep trying. To keep communicating. To respect my voice even when your instincts scream otherwise. I promise, he vows. Every single day I promise. We fall asleep like that, wrapped in each other, our baby safe between us, and for the first time in a year I feel like maybe we can make this work. 3 weeks pass in tentative peace. Yusiak is true to his word, respecting my boundaries while still being present. We attend prenatal appointments together, where the doctor is pleased with my improved health. The 4 fluids and proper nutrition, combined with alpha support, have made a dramatic difference. The baby is thriving, strong heartbeat, good movement, measuring right on schedule. We decide not to learn the sex, wanting to be surprised. As long as they're healthy, Yusiak says every time someone asks if we have a preference, his hand protective on my belly. We talk more than we ever did before. About his therapy, about my fears, about how we'll parent together. We establish boundaries and safe words for when discussions get too heated. We learn each other's triggers and how to de-escalate. It's not perfect. Yusiak still struggles with his controlling instincts. Several times he slips, making decisions without consulting me, trying to dictate my schedule, getting overprotective. But now he catches himself faster. He apologizes more readily. He actually listens when I explain how his actions make me feel. And I'm learning too. Learning that not every protective gesture is an attempt to control me. Learning that accepting help doesn't make me weak. Learning that vulnerability can be a strength rather than a liability. We haven't been intimate yet, not beyond sleeping in the same bed and gentle touches. My body is still healing from the stress of the pregnancy, and emotionally, I'm not quite ready. Yusiak doesn't push, though I can sense his desire through our bond. I can wait, he tells me when I apologize for not being ready. I waited a year to find you. I can wait as long as you need. But the peace doesn't last. On a Tuesday morning, 3 black sedans pull up outside the cottage. I'm in the kitchen making tea when I see them through the window, and my blood runs cold. Yusiak, I call out, my voice tight with fear. He's at my side instantly, following my gaze. His expression darkens. Stay inside, he orders, then catches himself. Please stay inside. Let me handle this. It's my family, I say, recognizing the cars. They found us despite the restraining orders. Then they're about to learn what happens when they violate court orders. His alpha voice is ice cold. He pulls out his phone, making quick calls to his lawyer and to security. Outside, car doors open. My father emerges first, stern and imposing in an expensive suit. My mother follows, her face pinched with disapproval. My brother Miho brings up the rear, his expression triumphant. The security team Yusiak hired immediately moves to intercept them, forming a barrier between the cars and the cottage. This is private property, one of the guards says firmly. You're violating restraining orders. I suggest you leave before the police arrive. I'm here to collect my son, my father says coldly. He's clearly being held against his will by this alpha. That's a lie. I can't help but shout from the window. Yusiak's hand finds my shoulder. Don't engage. Let me handle it. He walks outside, every inch the powerful alpha CEO. I watch from the window, my heart pounding, my hand protectively over my belly. Mr. Lee, Yusiak says with poisonous politeness. You're in violation of a restraining order. The police are on their way. I suggest you leave before this becomes a legal nightmare for you. My son is carrying an illegitimate child, my father says. It's my right as his parent to ensure he makes the correct decision. Hanul is a grown adult and we're bonded mates, Yusiak responds, his voice dangerously calm. You have no rights here. The baby is very much legitimate and very much wanted. We can offer you compensation, my mother speaks up, for your trouble. Surely you don't actually want to be tied to our defective son for the rest of your life? The bond can be broken, the pregnancy terminated, and everyone can move forward. I see Yusiak's hands clench into fists. Your defective son is the most important person in my world. He's carrying my child. And if you ever speak about either of them that way again, I will destroy everything your family has built. Do you understand me? You're making threats? My brother steps forward aggressively. I'm making promises, Yusiak corrects. I have more money, more influence, and significantly more motivation than you. Walk away now or I will systematically dismantle your family's business, your social standing, and your reputation. I will make the Lee name synonymous with child endangerment and Omega abuse. Your choice. You can't, Miho starts. I can and I will. I've already started. Yusiak pulls out his phone, showing them something on the screen. I've acquired 30% of your company's stock. One more move toward Hanul, and I'll tank the value and force a hostile takeover. Additionally, I've documented every threatening voicemail, every harassment attempt. I've prepared to release it all to media outlets. How do you think the public will react to a prominent family trying to force their pregnant Omega son to abort? My father's face goes red with rage. This is extortion. This is protection, Yusiak says coldly. You made the choice to threaten my family. Now live with the consequences. Police cars arrive, sirens wailing. Officers emerge, and Yusiak's lawyer, who apparently was already nearby, strides forward with documentation. I watch my family being escorted away from the property, my mother's protests falling on deaf ears. The police issue formal warnings about the restraining order violations. When it's over, Yusiak comes back inside. His hands are shaking slightly, the only sign of how much that confrontation cost him. Are you okay? He asks immediately, checking me over. Did that stress you too much? Do you need to lie down? Should I call the doctor? I'm okay, I assure him, though my heart is still racing. Did you really buy 30% of their company? I did. Last week, when my investigators found out they were planning to come here. He runs a hand through his hair. I know I should have told you, but I didn't want to worry you unnecessarily. I'm sorry for making that decision without consulting you. I should be angry. A few weeks ago, I would have been furious at him taking action without my input. But I can see the difference now. He's not trying to control me. He's trying to protect our family. And he immediately acknowledged he should have communicated better. It's okay, I say. I understand why you did it. And thank you for standing up to them. Always, he vows. They'll never hurt you again. I promise. That night, the stress of the confrontation catches up to me. My body aches, my emotions are frayed, and I need something. Need him in a way I haven't needed anyone in so long. Yusiak, I say as we lie in bed, his arms around me as usual. Can we? What do you need, baby? His voice is gentle, patient. Tell me. I whisper. I need you. All of you. I'm ready. He goes very still. Are you sure? We don't have to. I'm sure. I roll over to face him, seeing the hunger in his eyes even in the darkness. I need to feel close to you. I need to remember what it's like when it's good between us. Hanul, he breathes my name like a prayer. I don't want to hurt you or the baby. You won't. The doctor said sex is safe. Please, Yusiak. I need you. That's all the permission he needs. His mouth finds mine in a kiss that's been a year in the making, desperate and tender and full of everything we've been holding back. I open for him, tasting the salt of both our tears mixed with desire. His hands roam my body carefully, reverently, as if relearning every curve and dip. When he encounters my swollen belly, he pauses, placing gentle kisses there. Our baby, he murmurs against my skin. Our perfect baby. Please, I whimper, need coiling tight inside me. My Omega instincts are screaming for my alpha, for his touch, for his claim. He positions me on my side, sliding behind me so my belly is supported and comfortable. His hand trails down my body, finding me already slick and ready, Omega biology preparing for alpha penetration. So beautiful, he whispers, his fingers gentle as they explore. So perfect. I've dreamed of this, of you every night. Yusiak, I gasp as his fingers find that spot inside me that makes me see stars. Please, no more teasing. I need you inside me. Need to feel whole again. He positions himself at my entrance, the head of his cock pressing against me. Tell me if anything hurts. If anything doesn't feel right. We stop immediately. I will, I promise. Now please, Alpha. Claim me. The title, which I haven't used in over a year, breaks something in him. He pushes inside slowly, carefully, giving my body time to adjust. The stretch and fullness make me moan, my body remembering this, remembering him. Fuck, he groans against my neck. You feel incredible. So tight, so perfect. I've missed this. Missed you. He moves slowly, each thrust gentle and controlled, one hand on my hip and the other cradling my belly protectively. It's different from how we used to make love. Less frantic, more intimate. Every movement speaks of worship and devotion. I love you, he murmurs with each thrust. Love you so much. My Omega. My mate. Mother of my child. Love you too, I gasp, pleasure building with each careful stroke. My Alpha. My Yusiak. His hand slides around to where we're joined, fingers finding my sensitive nub and circling with perfect pressure. The combination of him inside me and his skilled fingers pushes me rapidly toward the edge. Come for me, baby, he encourages. Let me feel you. Want to feel you come around me. My orgasm crashes through me like a wave, my body clenching around him as pleasure explodes through every nerve. I cry out his name, tears streaming down my face, from pleasure, from emotion, from the sheer relief of being connected to him again. That's it, he praises, his movements becoming less controlled. So perfect, so beautiful when you come. Gonna fill you up. Gonna remind your body who you belong to. Yes, I whimper, sensitive but wanting more. Claim me. Make me yours again. His teeth find my bonding mark, not biting but scraping, sending electricity through the bond. His thrusts become harder, deeper, more possessive. I can feel him swelling inside me, his knot beginning to form. Hanol, he groans, his voice wrecked. Gonna knot you. Gonna breed you properly this time. You're mine. Mine. Yours, I agree breathlessly. Always yours. His knot locks us together as he comes with a hoarse shout, his release flooding me with warmth. The feeling of being claimed, filled, knotted triggers another orgasm, gentler but no less intense. We lie there locked together, both of us trembling and crying and holding each other as tightly as the pregnancy allows. I love you, he whispers over and over. I love you so much. Never leaving you again. Never letting you go. Don't want you to, I manage through my tears. Want you here. Want our family together. The knot will keep us locked for at least 30 minutes, biology's way of ensuring breeding takes. Not that I can get more pregnant, but the instincts don't care about logic. Yusiak's hand stays on my belly, feeling our baby move. They're active, he says with wonder. They always are after sex, I admit. The hormones and movement wake them up. I love that I know that now, he says. I love being part of this. Part of every moment. Me too, I whisper. I'm glad you found me. I'm glad we're trying again. I'll spend every day earning your trust, he promises. Being the alpha and father you both deserve. When we finally separate, he cleans us both gently, then pulls me back into his arms. We fall asleep wrapped around each other, our baby moving between us, and for the first time in a year, everything feels right. The next 2 months pass in a blur of preparation and healing. My belly swells larger, 7 months, then 8. The baby is active and healthy, their kick strong enough now that Yusiak can see my belly move from across the room. We move into Yusiak's penthouse in Seoul, with the understanding that I'm not trapped there. I come and go as I please, often returning to the cottage in Yosu when I need the peace of the ocean. Yusiak doesn't complain, just ensures security follows at a discreet distance. We attend couples therapy together, working through our issues with a professional mediator. It's hard work, confronting our failures, learning new communication patterns, rebuilding trust. But we're both committed. The restraining orders hold. My family makes one more attempt to reach me through social media, but Yusiak's legal team shuts it down immediately. Eventually they seem to accept that I'm beyond their reach. We attend birthing classes together, Yusiak earnestly taking notes and practicing breathing exercises with me. The other couples in the class clearly recognize his alpha intensity, giving us a wide berth, but he's so focused on learning how to support me that he doesn't notice. We set up a nursery in soft yellows and greens, gender neutral and warm. Yusiak assembles every piece of furniture himself, determined to provide for his baby even in these small ways. I'm nesting, he admits sheepishly when I find him organizing tiny clothes for the 3rd time. Is that weird? It's adorable, I assure him, waddling over to kiss his cheek. My body grows heavy and uncomfortable as I enter the 9th month. Simple tasks become difficult. Yusiak helps without being asked, tying my shoes, reaching high shelves, rubbing my aching back. Thank you for carrying our baby, he says one night, his hand on my belly as the baby performs what feels like gymnastics. I know it's hard on your body. I wish I could share the burden. You share it in other ways, I tell him. You're here. You're present. Your partner, not just protector. I'm trying, he says. Every day I'm trying. 2 weeks before my due date, I wake to dampness between my legs. At first, I think I've wet myself. Embarrassing but common in late pregnancy. But then a contraction hits, sharp and unmistakable. Yusiak, I gasp, shaking him awake. I think my water broke. He's awake instantly, his alpha instincts kicking into high gear. For a moment, I see panic flash across his face, but he visibly gathers himself. Okay, he says calmly, though I can feel his anxiety through the bond. Okay, we practiced this. Hospital bag is ready. Car is downstairs. Are you in pain? How far apart are the contractions? That was the first one, I say, then another one hits. Oh God, that's the second. Yusiak, they're close together. That's okay, that's normal, he says, though his voice is strained. He helps me stand, supports my weight as another contraction steals my breath. We're going to get you to the hospital. Everything's going to be fine. The ride to the hospital is a blur of contractions and Yusiak's steady presence. He holds my hand, times the contractions, and absolutely breaks every traffic law to get us there faster. At the hospital, we're rushed into a delivery room. The medical staff is efficient and calm, checking my dilation, 7 centimeters already, moving fast, and hooking me up to monitors. "You're doing great," Yusiak murmurs, smoothing my sweat-dampened hair. "So strong. So perfect." "I'm scared," I admit between contractions. "I know, baby. But I'm right here. Not going anywhere. We're going to meet our baby soon." The labor is intense, hours of pain and pressure and exhaustion. Yusiak never leaves my side. He breathes with me, encourages me, and lets me squeeze his hand hard enough that I'm sure I'm breaking bones. "You're doing amazing," he says as I near transition. "The hardest part. Almost there. Almost time to push." "I can't," I sob, exhausted beyond measure. "You can," he insists, his alpha voice compelling but not controlling. "You're the strongest person I know. You survived a year alone while pregnant. You rebuilt our relationship. You can do this. I believe in you." His faith gives me strength I didn't know I had. When the doctor finally says I can push, relief floods through me. Yusiak supports my back, helping me through each push, his sense surrounding me with comfort and strength. "I can see the head," the doctor announces. "One more big push, Hanol." I push with everything I have, screaming through the burn and pressure, and suddenly, release. A baby's cry fills the room, strong and healthy and perfect. "It's a girl," the doctor announces, placing our daughter on my chest. I look down at her, tiny and pink and screaming, and fall completely in love. She has a tuft of dark hair and Yusiak's nose, and she's the most beautiful thing I've ever seen. "Oh my God," I sob, my hands cradling her carefully. "She's perfect." Yusiak is crying openly, his hand gentle on our daughter's head. "She's beautiful. She's so beautiful. Look what we made, Hanol." Our daughter's crying settles as she responds to our voices, her tiny hand wrapping around Yusiak's finger. The bond between us, already strong, expands to include her, the three of us connected in a way that transcends words. "What should we name her?" Yusiak asks, his voice full of wonder. We discussed names but never settled on one, wanting to see her first. "Sioyin," I say, looking at her precious face. "Light and beautiful." "Kang Sioyin," Yusiak tests the name, then smiles through his tears. "It's perfect. She's perfect." After the medical staff finishes their checks and cleans us both up, we're moved to a private recovery room. Sioyin sleeps in my arms, and Yusiak sits beside us on the bed, his arm around my shoulders, just staring at our daughter in awe. "I can't believe she's real," he whispers. "That she's ours." "Believe it," I say, exhausted but happier than I've ever been. "We're a family now." "We are," he agrees, kissing my temple. "And I promise, Hanol, I'll be the father she deserves. The partner you deserve. Every single day I'll prove it." "I know you will," I say, and I mean it. The journey hasn't been easy, and there will still be challenges ahead. But looking at our daughter, feeling Yusiak's solid presence beside me, I know we're going to be okay. More than okay, we're going to be happy. 6 months later, I stand on the porch of our cottage in Yosu, watching Yusiak play with Sioyin on a blanket in the yard. She's giggling as he makes silly faces, her laughter like music. We split our time between Seoul and Yosu now, the best of both worlds. Yusiak works remotely when we're at the cottage, and we return to the city for important meetings and appointments. Our relationship isn't perfect. We still have disagreements, still have moments where his alpha instincts clash with my need for independence. But we've learned to communicate, to compromise, to work through conflicts instead of letting them fester. Therapy continues, both couples sessions and individual ones. We've learned our triggers, developed coping strategies, and built a foundation of trust that's stronger for having been broken and repaired. Yusiak looks up, catching me watching, and his smile is radiant. "Come join us," he calls. I walk over, settling onto the blanket beside them. Sioyin immediately crawls into my lap, babbling in baby language. Yusiak wraps his arm around my shoulders, pulling us both close. "Happy?" he asks softly. I look at our daughter, at the man I love, at the life we've built together from tragedy and healing. "So happy," I confirm. "So incredibly happy." He kisses me, soft and sweet and full of promise. Sioyin squeals and pats our faces, making us both laugh. This is what love should be, I think. Not a cage but a foundation. Not control but partnership. Not perfect but real and honest and worth fighting for. We're a family, imperfect, healing but whole. And that's more than enough.